am your host for Live and Unfiltered tonight, y'all. And I have with me my
co-host. I'm Kia Nicole.
and
And
tonight,
welcome.
y'all, we're gonna be talking about podcast 101 as well as hot topics.
Yes, yes.
So because it is summer, y'all, I'm coming tonight with a drink, and a little fancy scroll.
Okay.
I'm sipping on.
Don't try to outshine me now. Because I know we was like trying to get
It's
creative.
giving summer.
Well, I'll come with my little wine. Cheers.
Cheers, sis.
It's
I
the
have
same one from last week. Just my little strawberry wine, child. I can't do the XXL one. I got that in there, but it's too strong for me. Too strong. Tastes like
yeah.
medicine. Tastes like medicine. Mm-mm.
Mm, mm. Well, I'm drinking
Mm.
a strawberry daiquiri, homemade with salt and a fancy little pineapple
Not
straw.
homemade. How you make a homemade daiquiri?
When I say homemade, it ain't from the store. It's homemade. I made it
Yeah,
at home.
but I'm saying like, never mind. I'm asking for ingredients. We'll talk about that later.
Oh
Cause
no, not the
you.
ingredients stuff. It's made from home though.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
All right, y'all. So
Gotcha.
without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and hop right into the questions, y'all. The question we want to get into is podcasting 101. Is podcast the new wave? Do you think so? Why not?
Let me type it for them. For anybody that comes in, is podcasting the new wave? I'm going to say yes, of course. I mean, we're seeing a lot of people coming out with podcasts. We're seeing celebrities. We're seeing comedy. We're seeing people who we probably never thought would even explore that field of work do it. And I feel like a lot of people didn't really know that it was like a viable like business venture to
Yeah.
do until recently, and so now everyone's hopping on the wave, and I love it for them, especially people who already have the platform. They got the fans, so it's kind of like a way for fans to learn more about them and to like see their perspective on trending topics. And yeah, so for sure it's definitely the new wave.
And just to add my little input to that, I think so as well. Our podcast prior before we rebranded as well. And, podcasting for us was like a safe place to just share our thoughts, hear others' thoughts. Like we did it out of just loving the idea of,
Mm-hmm.
interacting with our audience and interacting with people. So that was out of pure love. But after we started a podcast, I started to see a lot, like you said, a lot of people just randomly coming up with podcasts. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is a thing. So
Mm-hmm.
and it's nice. A lot of people are doing it with their friends. They're doing it, by themselves, whatever the case is. But I feel like when you have a platform, it is so nice to have people come up and share their thoughts because you know what? You get a different outlook on things in life. So I feel like it's a
Mm-hmm.
new wave for sure. It's, a little money hack to go to as
Mm-hmm.
well. So, follow-up question behind that is how has hosting a podcast changed or influenced your perspective? Being that we've been host and co-host, what would your thoughts be on that?
One, I'm gonna say I was one of those people that wasn't all that interested in podcasts until right before we started ours, and then that's when I got interested. I especially love Poor Minds. They're two best friends like us that do their thing, and it got me interested in it. But I will say I developed a new respect for it. Like it's more than just hopping on camera and talking
Right.
about topics. Like you say, it's a way to create a safe space for people to come and and indulge in meaningful conversations, and you get new fresh perspectives on things that maybe you discuss behind closed doors, maybe with your friends, but now it's like in a wider audience. So yeah, definitely.
I agree, sis. I would say, being that we do host and co-host, sometimes it's nice. For example, tonight I'm hosting and you're co-hosting. A little bit of pressure is taken off of you, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. When I'm co-hosting, a little bit of pressure is taken off of me as well. But together we are a team, so we do have to make the efforts together as well. But I feel like it's changed my perspective. At first, I would always watch podcasts on YouTube where you sit down, they do the traditional way. And we're very much doing the non traditional way of podcasting. We're very
Mm-hmm.
much doing it live. So I just thought that was like something unique about us and something to tap into. We're live every week. We're coming here, we're having our guests. We have our, just building a community and an audience for us. So for me, I feel like it's allowed me to be a little bit more comfortable being on camera talking to people because
Mm-hmm.
outside of getting on live all the time, it's not something you do every day. You have a social presence or a social audience. So getting familiarity is one thing for me, and also like the growth. Having us go from so far. Like, when you first start, you don't really know what direction you want your podcast to go into. But so far, we've been going in a direction we'd like to excel in. So it's all about growing. And for me as a person, it's helped me to grow a little bit more. I was already outspoken, but I'm a
It
little
helped
bit
you
more
to
than
get
that.
even more out your
Right,
shell.
there you
Because
go.
there's always room for
You're a
growth
little
and
bit more
improvement. Yeah.
accepting of others' opinion versus your own, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say the podcast per se, but prior to that, it's like, sometimes we can be stuck in our own ways and you feel like your way is always right. And then when you hear someone else's perspective, you're like, wait a minute. Like, you
Yeah.
look at it from a different lens. So that's
This
that.
definitely allowed me to have more of an open mind.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then to add on to that, has there been any surprises or challenges along the way that you want to touch on when it comes to creating a podcast,
Mm,
getting into the podcast space? What would your challenges and or surprises be?
the only surprise I can say is how consistent we've been. Like, I'm so surprised that we are this consistent,
This
and I'm proud of us.
consistent.
Yeah, at this
That's
point,
what I wrote.
I'm sure. I'm sure we was gonna say something the same. But yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
so surprised. I'm so proud of us because it can definitely be discouraging, especially when like you're literally starting from the bottom. You don't have like a big audience
Right.
to like literally show up for yourself, and we show up for each other every week, not knowing what each other is going through or how bad of a day we've had. We
Right.
still come on here and show up. So I really think that's a huge surprise, and that's also a challenge. Like I was saying, like we go through things, we have our personal endeavors that we are also having to keep up with. So I feel like knowing that we're relying on each other and holding each other accountable is making it easier, because if I was doing this alone, I would have been discouraged a long time
Right.
ago. But because I have you, it helps. We keep each other encouraged. We celebrate the small wins, like, well, we got another subscriber. Like that stuff is what keeps me fueled. Like I can't even say I honestly have been discouraged at all during this process. I've only been like constantly encouraged and like just hopeful and optimistic for the future.
Have here any surprises or challenges that came our way. I have here being consistent. That is funny because y'all, we don't discuss like our answers and none of that prior to the
You
podcast.
don't.
Which again, we have everything as live. We're via live and it's all filtered. So it's whatever you're saying at that moment. So it's very much natural, authentic, everything. So being consistent is something that I put down. And like you say, sometimes you don't hold yourself accountable, but when you have someone else relying on you, oh baby, you're gonna get it together because you don't want to let the person down. You don't want to be the bearer of bad news. You don't want to be the person why something didn't work out, why it failed. You want to be that, oh, we helped each other, we grew.
Yep.
So being consistent is something I would say sometimes can be a challenge. It hasn't necessarily been a challenge for us per se because, like I said, before we rebranded, we had, about 30 episodes that we did of our podcast. So we were very consistent where that was concerned as
Mm-hmm.
well. So it was just kind of like a leeway into where we are now. Finding relatable topics. So sometimes when you have a podcast,
Yeah.
when you have it depends on the audience. Like we're hoping to have male and female audiences. We don't want everything pertaining to just one gender or, race or whatever. We want it to be where everyone's welcome to present their ideas, present their thoughts. We're welcoming of all of that. So sometimes when it comes to finding relatable topics, it's not easy because you're like, okay, we might understand it, we might vibe, and then our
Mm-hmm.
audience is just like, what does this have to do with me? So,
What does got to do with me?
sometimes, right, that could be a challenge when you find relatable topics. Like, for example, podcasting. Not everybody is into it. But now that we kind of open that window and say, hey, it is an outlet. It is very much like, resourceful. It also has, I feel like it's an area that will grow in the future as well. You could tap into that. That's something you can learn from. And you educate yourself sometimes when you listen to people that know more than you and you put yourself in those spaces, you're going to learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like finding relatable topics and growing. And like you say, you celebrate the small wins because, baby, you got to start small before you get big. You can't wait to celebrate the big wins if you can't celebrate the small ones. So we get one or two
Mm-hmm.
subscribers. All right, we in there. We happy. We're great. We're growing. We're not, going backwards. We're excelling. So that's also something as well that can be a challenge. Sometimes when you start out, you don't see the victory yet. You don't see like the end of the road. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know yet. You just kind of looking like, all right, we're growing slow. But listen, it's better to grow slow and steady than fast and, in a hurry.
Right.
And
Some
you get that.
progress is better than
Right,
none.
right. It's better than
Right.
that. You don't want to get there too fast and then you stuck like, okay, so what I got to do next? What I got,
Mm-hmm.
so at this time when we're small, you're able to grow and learn and you're able to like perfect what you need to perfect, bring to the audience, get people more engaged and they have time to learn who you are too. So those are topics when it comes to podcasting. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into, I'm with the topics tonight, y'all. We'll go ahead and hop into the
We
hot topics.
rolling. We rolling. I'm
So,
rolling with you. Let's go.
right. So type this for me here, please. The hot topic about when it comes to future, looking ahead in the future. For example, like where do you feel like technology is heading in the next 5 years? So I'll let you go ahead and answer that, and then I'll kind of pair off into like what other topics are relating to that hot topic.
Feel free to chime into the conversation. We talking, but we always will pause to read any comments you may have. So I feel like the technology will lead to in the next 5 years. I'll just speak from the sake of like cell phones. As far as cell phones go, I think it's obviously going to continuously get faster, and I feel like they're going to eventually make us have to do like wireless charging and wireless headphones. They may get rid of the port on our cell phone. We'll have no choice but to kind of move the wireless way. I feel like we're going to be looking real futuristic, real Futurama. Maybe not 5. Give me, I'm gonna say 10 real Futurama, but in 5 we'll definitely start seeing like major changes.
That was the backup question. What changes do you anticipate? Go ahead and touch on that as well.
I just said it.
That was a change. Okay, all right. Well, okay, so where do you see technology in the next 5 years, and what changes do you anticipate? Next 5 years. That's I want to say it's far, but it's really not far.
It's really soon. Yeah, the years go by fast.
It does. I remember when I was younger and I was like, well, I can't wait to be this age, and I get this age, I'm like, wait a minute, I want to go back to this age. Yeah, it's not far at all. 5 years is like next door. So I feel like when it comes to technology, self-reliant is what I want to say. Like I feel like when it comes to we already have like cars that operate on their own. I don't have a Tesla, but I've heard if you miss a payment, it drives yourself back to the dealer. Don't know if that's accurate or not. So I feel like a lot of things are going to be self-reliant. You get outside and it's like, you might have, I don't know, something or someone that's helping you along that might not be human.
Yeah, your own little personal robot that helps you. They may have those that help you with all your house duties, and hey, they might can hop in the car and go
have you. Right, it's going to be that. So what changes do you anticipate? I wrote here, they're going to be taking over jobs. We've already talked about this years, but now we're actually like seeing it in, live in effect. We're seeing robots and stuff like that when it comes to cars taking over jobs. Maybe not having us go to school anymore. School and studying might be, less of a thing in the future. We're going to have something else to do it for us in a space like that. Also have roles and the economy increasing as well. I feel like as technology comes out and as technology become more expensive, so does the economy as well. I feel like things are going to start increasing. It's not something that we're going to be able to control. I feel like you just kind of have to get there and figure it out basically, but have a plan. Have a plan in place for that. Another thing I wanted to point out pertaining to the iPhone update, this is kind of where the hot topic comes in, why I tied it in with this question. It brought about the iPhone 18 upload, the iOS 18. It does stay here recording our conversation. What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like it'll start to incriminate others? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like them giving us the opportunity to record a phone call. What are your thoughts?
I didn't hear about it. So they're saying like when you go on a phone call with someone, there'll be something in your settings.
I think it's the iOS 18 upgrade is what it is. It's like you have the option to record someone's phone call, but when you do record, it's gonna notify the person, like the next person, that
they're being recorded.
But I'm saying I feel like a lot of people are gonna incriminate themselves. I mean, you can incriminate yourself, like I feel like it's just. I don't know. It's, again, technology. So I feel like, because technically in some states, you're not allowed to really record anyone without them knowing. It is considered illegal. So now it's like they're giving us the opportunity to record someone. So I'm like, is it no longer illegal to do so? Because if you were to record someone and bring that to court, they would throw that out. They would throw that out completely. They wouldn't use it because it's illegal to do so. The person's supposed to give you permission to record them. So
I feel like, though, I don't know, I feel like the government's going to find a way to work around that. Like, they're going to be able to use recorded conversations in trials. Like, they're going to find a way to, like, work around the whole it's illegal to use thing. I feel like as technology progresses, the government is going to start, as far as, like, consumer rights and privacy, that's going to slowly, we're not going to have much rights and privacy as, technology. So that's just my opinion.
So you're looking at it as more so like a control thing. Yeah. Because I know.
Yeah, just how businesses will ask like, hey, do you mind if we like track your activity on
Right.
other apps and stuff like that? I feel like eventually they're just gonna do it anyway. You know, like that's gonna be like not even a question, so that they can give us the best consumer experience, they say.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like it definitely can be incriminating, but I feel like if they're gonna notify the other person that being recorded, it's like don't say nothing that can incriminate yourself.
But
Like,
then again,
I don't know.
you never know. You might be in a heated argument, and then you might slip up and say, "I wish should have did this," and it's like just by you saying what you should have did, it could come off as a threat, and then now you can use that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, they need
you
to
know,
not notify the other person though, so that way.
but then that's illegal because it's an
But
invasion
then
of
they need to make
privacy.
it not
Y'all having a
illegal.
private conversation, and the person records it. They're not use that as like blackmail against you. So
Then that's when you take them to court.
where they're gonna throw it out? Gotcha. Okay. All right, Mo said everything may be completely virtual by then.
Yeah,
I agree. I feel
for
like
sure.
I used to hear my pastor when I was a little girl saying, "Oh, we're gonna start like being like transported in airplanes, like flying airplanes." And I was like, that is never going to be a thing. And as the years started going by, and I'm like, oh, we have self-driving cars. We have this doing this for us. Oh, it might be very much. He said this when I was a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I still remember. He's like, don't be shocked if you see someone just take a little plane, just right above you, and just land. I said, okay. So eventually, we might get to that stage as well. Things are just supposed to be more easy for us, but it does take up a lot of like our what do you say norm, like the things that we're
Yeah, I
used
feel like they're
to.
gonna try to
It
like get
takes
rid of
that.
like a lot of manual
Right.
labor and replace it with like artificial intelligence, which they're slowly doing that anyway. So
Agreed.
yeah.
All right. So the next question we're going to branch off into is, in what ways do the media portray beauty influences for young women and young girls? What are different ways that they portray beauty, like beauty standards? I'm going to tap into that a little bit. Like, how do you feel like the media portrays that? For everyone that is coming in, we do appreciate you guys. If you're not commenting below, you're welcome to comment as
Yes,
well.
thank you for joining.
You're welcome
Okay,
to give us your opinion. We appreciate it.
I'm gonna just speak on like the BBL culture because that's all I see on my page. It kind of depends on who you follow and like what your page look like, but I see it on all of my stuff.
Mm,
So we're seeing a lot of surgery bodies and faces that have been tampered with,
right.
and perfect images. No one's really showing up as them as their natural selves. They're like
Right.
just in a natural environment. Everyone's just fake perfect looking or their version of it. And so I feel like that may make it difficult for like the younger women under us because they're going to see that and then they may think that's the norm when it's not. So I feel like that's basically what I see. I feel like we need to just start showing up more as ourselves. I don't know. And I feel like a lot of content creators are celebrities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not a content creator, you're not a celebrity, then you're probably just watching. You're just, scrolling and liking or whatever. And so I feel like, I don't know, we just need to do more of like showing there's more to it than BBL culture. And that's
Okay.
where I'm at.
So again, the question is, what are different ways the media portrays beauty standards in women and girls? So I feel like you said, like surgery is pushed a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
remember back in the day, before like Nicki Minaj had her body done, she was really like the first person to get their body done, and it was kind of like, oh my God, you really did this. It was just frowned upon back then. And she spoke about it too, like, oh, now it just became like so accepted. Now it became a trend. It wasn't just, oh, I'm doing my body for me. Now it's I'm doing my body because it pleases others or whatever the case is. It's more you're chasing this higher like perfection that's not going to be like however God made you is how you're meant to be in a sense. So yes, you can, do makeup, whatever the case is, like you can enhance things, but like for you to go under the knife, you're completely changing you're reconstructing and recreating what God had created for you. So I do understand nothing against it. It is your preference. If that's what makes you happy, go for it.
Yeah.
If you love your body, go for it. If you want to go to the gym and work on your body, go for it. Like whatever make you happy, go for it. But make sure you're doing it like with a meaning behind it. It's for you at the end of the day. Because there's a lot of people who did their body because it was a trend and they regret it after because it's a lot of pain, the aftercare, the money to take care of the body. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's like, they have to keep going back because things are changing. They have a kid. Like there's so many like cons to it, and there's It has its pros to it. Yes, you look more presentable in clothes. You're more, likable. You're more sociable. You're able to gain, financial gains from that because you're posting in a culture that accepts it. Completely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the downside of things. So I feel like it's pushed upon. It's not like, okay, let me just have a choice if I want to get my body done. Now it's just kind of like, oh, you want to be this, you want to be famous, you want to be in this, get your body done. Boom, that's it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's not, at least give people the choice to say, okay, you know what, like, natural beauty is okay too. So I feel like being natural a lot of times is kind of like it's the opposite. It's like it's not as accepted when you're natural now. It's like, oh, you gotta be, if you don't gotta be, you ain't nothing. It's kind of like that. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying? So
not
I feel
popular.
like right. So I'm happy to see a lot of the girlies that did get their body done and come back natural. Like, they're able to say their experience. Like the celebrities and stuff. It's like, okay, now we're kind of, accepting them for who they are because they're coming back and saying, listen, this is not it. I made the choice because it was a trend, it was popular, and they're able to learn from those mistakes. So I feel like if society kind of just gives us the option and not push it so much, like you say, every
Mm-hmm.
time you scroll, it's a
That's
button.
what
It's
I'm
about
saying.
it's boobs. It's every time you scroll, it's something. Even if you're not following a person, that's just what they push to you because it's the trend. It's the thing that's going on. So I feel like sometimes the society could just give us a choice. All right, do you want to see this content? No, no, they're gonna push it to you whether you want to see it
Yeah.
or not. So that's my thoughts on that. And the backup question is, how can we promote more diverse representation for our women?
Monique says before we answer that, I feel like everyone is fake in every way because the media is pushing it too much.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like we just need to start showing up unapologetically as ourselves, us naturals. Like we need to. It don't even. You don't even have to. Okay, when I say natural, I mean all of us. You know, different sizes, different colors, different shapes. Like you don't have to be skinny, you don't have to be thick. However you are, just show up unapologetically yourself. And especially that's why I mention us content creators because like I say, unless you're a content creator
Right.
or you're a celebrity or whatever, like those are the people we're seeing. People posting content or celebrities or influencers. Those are the three categories of people we see on our feed constantly. So those people, if you're in that category, just start showing up unapologetically as yourself. Like you don't always have to throw on makeup. You don't always have to have the most stylish fit on. Like you just never know what content is gonna hit. Like people like things that they can relate to. We can't always
Right.
relate to the surgery body and we can't always
Right.
relate to glistening in the sun. Like we can't always relate to stomach on flat. We can't always relate to like walking in high heels every day. Like we can't always relate to that. So just show up unapologetically as yourself. You could be at home just doing something normal, and you never know, that
It's
may just hit
relatable,
because
right?
it's something that we can relate to. So that's the
I
type of
wanted
content I like anyway.
I
I like
wanted
the
to
stuff I can relate
add
to.
to that as well, sis. I do agree with you because a lot of time as consumers, because we can't relate to those things, we'll support them, we'll like them, but you see how
We like it, but
right, you see how harshly they're judged is because the people that are judging them aren't in their steps. They're not relating to them. So a lot of times, people do get their bodies done, and when they go back natural, people like kind of body shame them, like, oh, well, why you did this in the first place? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you didn't know like how their mental were at the time. And again, maybe they were pushed by whoever, like they're whoever the not PR, but whoever is in charge of their career. Sometimes they tell them, hey, if you get your body done, this could work for you. I know that happens a lot. Of
yes,
Jermaine
they do
Dupri
some
was
money
like
moves. Yes, and
Jermaine
it
Dupri
does
told her
work because the media they push the sex
right.
appeal. Yeah. Hmm.
Jermaine Dupri told her that. I used to watch Lotto when she was like 16 years old, and she looked fine. And he told her that, like, listen, in order to get blown up, you got to get your body done, and she
It worked
did. And look
for
where
her.
she is today, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
times when you're getting into like the whole social media world and the artistry world and the rapping and the career, like there's a certain image you have to present. You know what I'm saying? You have to uphold that. So I feel like a lot of times we like that. We know we maybe like their artistry, we like whatever they're presenting, but we can't always relate to their situation when they cry about, oh, I had this surgery and this one. We can't relate to those things because realistically, we're not getting that done. So, like you said, having likable content, relatable content, for sure. You get people more
Hmm.
engaged like that. I agree. All right, y'all. So those were some heavy topics tonight. So of course we're gonna get into the fun round, this or that summer edition, because it is summer. Welcome to the heat.
And feel free to comment below and chime in and engage with us. This
Yes,
question is not just for me. It's
these
the
questions, yeah. Come on in,
yeah.
talk below. Don't be scared. We ain't gotta call y'all name. We'll just say if we agree or disagree. All right, so summer edition, this or that. Sundress or shorts and tank top?
I prefer sundresses. I prefer. I like things where the wind can
Sundresses.
get on in there.
The only thing I don't like about sundresses is that my thighs rub, and that's the only thing I don't like.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But other than that, I like something that's breathable, airy. Mm-hmm.
Sundress it is. Shorts and a tank top.
Shorts and a tank. I wear both, but I prefer, like, if I see a sundress in my closet, I'm grabbing that before I try to piece together.
It's also more coverage. Like, your legs are covered from the heat. It's more airy. Like you said, it's a little like the shorts are stuck onto you. Sweat, your thighs rub.
Yeah, when you're thick, and I have thick thighs, I have to keep pulling them down. That's too much work.
Right. Beach day or pool day?
Pool. I don't like the beach.
I like the beach. The beach is me all day, y'all. I love the beach. I go sit down and listen to the birds. I love the beach.
Don used to say same about the thigh sweat, but I'm gonna wear the dress still. Hello, I'm gonna still wear that dress. The thighs, but the Lumi kind of works for me. The Lumi deodorant, the body deodorant, that works.
A beach day, right? You got it.
I have an unpopular opinion because most people would say beach. I'm just a pool person. I don't like the beach.
She don't like the beach. I do.
It's too hot, sand hot, water cold, too much going on.
Right. But I mean, perfect combo. Something hot, something cold. All right. The next one is tropical island getaway or European city exploration.
Whoa, run that back.
Tropical island getaway or European city exploration. So basically, would you rather a tropical island or be
go out the country somewhere on land based? Yes. Okay. I've never been anywhere.
I said a tropical island getaway. Any island, I'm welcome to visit. I love being on the island. I love being on somebody's beach. I love being on the water.
Because I ain't never been in Europe or anywhere.
In Europe, you're going to have to get a book bag and walk. I'm not doing that.
It is a lot of walking. I have to mentally prepare. I know I need to walk.
In the winter, but not in the summer.
Yes, I would love to visit when it's cold or like fall-ish, yeah. But yeah, tropical, yeah. I'll go on the island any day, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Would you rather, I'm sorry, this or that? My bad, y'all.
It's kind of the same thing, would you rather, in this.
All right.
Dancy said tropical island for sure. I'm not a city girl. Monique said both. Okay.
I mean, I feel like I do European in the winter and the other one, tropical
you could
do in the summer.
Any time of year, the tropical island, honestly. So it don't matter. It's tropical all the time. Okay, what was the next one? I'm sorry.
Okay, so classic glasses, but was just classic shades or trendy oversized shades? What's your go-to? I would
just like the trendy. What is it?
I'd rather the
classic.
You like the classic? The classic is like the regular little shades.
Oh no, I be doing the oversized. I thought you meant. Right. I'm thinking of regular glasses. I'm sorry, prescription.
No.
This is why I might be good to me.
Oversized look as well. Mm-hmm. Give some more summer vibe.
Oversized for sure. Mm-hmm.
Classic. Okay, Mom, we got classic in there for her. All right, y'all. And the last question for this or that: barbecue with friends or outdoor movie night?
Okay, I heard outdoor movie night. What was the first one?
Barbecue with friends or outdoor movie night?
I guess it's a barbecue with friends. I don't know. I've never done any of those.
What would you prefer in the summer? Barbecue with your friends or outdoor movie night?
A barbecue with friends. We could play games. We can, you know what I'm saying? We could talk. We could do a lot of things. Have the music going. It could be more of a vibe with the barbecue. I'm not trying to sit in silence watching the movie with y'all. Like, that is not fun.
Outdoor here, like it's out there. Like, you know those movies that you sit in the car and it's outdoor and stuff like that.
That's cool, but then I'm be like, okay, so we're gonna go out to eat before or after? Like, that can't be the all we do. It's just barbecue. We could do more. Yeah. What Dynasty said.
Mo said barbecue with friends. Dynasty said barbecue with friends. I love good music and conversation. Right. That's
right, Mo. Right. Yeah.
Barbecue with friends. I feel like you get a little kiki. You have your little drinks.
Yeah.
You have memories and create memories. So I feel like that's something fun to do in the summertime.
Donna say outdoor movie if I'm with my man and it's cold outside, so we can go. Right, outdoor movie is giving like a romantic day.
Summertime. What would you prefer in the summer?
No, she's saying that's the only time she. Oh yeah, that's what she's saying. Like it's gonna be barbecue because the other one will only work if it's cold outside.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I could do a movie at the barbecue.
That is definitely. I feel like a date with your man. I don't want to go outside with my girls
It's like y'all outside with
a drive-in theater. That's
outside
what it
with
is,
like
kind
a
of like.
projector, and you're sitting down, just kind of like watching a movie, like a
It's
little
giving
girl.
romantic. Mm-hmm.
No, it's giving regular.
It's giving. I would be sitting there just thinking about my man, like, okay,
Okay, well, I ain't
y'all
take that.
cool or whatever, but no, that's not the type of date I would want to do with my friends. Sorry. We go to the regular theater though.
There you have it, folks. All
Watch
right,
a movie
y'all.
at the barbecue. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
What you know? Yeah, with your friends. Why not? You know, they be having you inside and they be outside on the grill. They walking back and forth. You all right? They cut the TV off or you bring your drink. You
That's
know, they good
background
hostess.
noise. If the TV on, that's background noise.
Agreed. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And that was it for talk. I'm about to say talk about it Tuesday. That's it for live and unfiltered, y'all. This full video will be up later this week on YouTube. If you haven't already, follow our page. It is live and unfiltered. All our short videos from these will be over there as well. And on next Tuesday, we will be on Kia's page. Anything
Yes,
else?
yes, yes.
Am I missing anything?
No, that's all. I went ahead and put the page in there. I tagged it. I don't know if it's clickable, but that's the Instagram for our podcast page. So make sure that you all are following. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a wonderful night.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.